So, hello people. I will hopefully start a new tutorial on coding Python. So I'll take you from beginner to like intermediate level, and by the end of it, hopefully we'll make a snake game or something like this. Just an interesting game that you can play around with, and I'll always leave the code in the description, so you can always just download the code and try and modify it, make it better, and stuff like that. So let's get started. Right, so now I'll be showing you how to make a random number program. Now this is really simple, I'd say, and yeah, just very simple. It's for beginners, and even if you haven't done Python ever yet, this is for you. You can do this. So yeah. So first of all, let me show you how this program works and what it'll do. So here you see we've imported random. I won't explain the code now, but if we run it, and you run things from PyCharm by clicking this button up there. You have to enter a number between 1 and 100. I enter 50. And the program says that the number's too small. So let's say we enter 75. It's too big. So we enter like 59. And it's too small. So we enter 65. And let me just quickly get this through with. And so I guess the number. It was 63. The program says, you win. Number of guesses equals 5. So if you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 guesses, so it's correct. And then the program finishes with exit code 0. Basically, this line at the bottom, if it says exit code 0, this means that the program has run flawlessly and you haven't got any mistakes. So yeah, so let's get cracking on how to code this, and I'll explain it step by step. So it's very easy to do. Right. So let me just delete this. So first of all, we need to import random. The import random imports a module automatically downloaded if you're on a Mac for Python, and a module is something as a piece of code that someone else has coded, and you're taking advantage of it and you're using it to create your own programs. So here we're importing random, and here it starts to get complicated. So hang on. So we define a variable. This will be the number that the computer chooses at the beginning of the game, and that you as the player have to guess. And so we want the number to be different every time. So how we do this is we ask the computer to pick a random number from 1 to 100. This is why we imported random. So to use this, we type in random dot random 1 to 100, and this chooses a number between 1 and 100. And these two, you can say put 2 and 3, and the number, 2 and 4, and the number will always be 2, 3, or 4. Pretty easy game, don't you say? So after we've done that, we put another variable, and this will store the amount of guesses that the user, player, whatever, had. So we set it to 0 because the game hasn't started yet. And then we put winner to false. This is another variable that will help us make a loop. So if I just explain what a loop is something that, loops again and again, and this is what you call a main game loop in this case. And what it does is it loops the game until you win. Yeah, that's how it does. So there are loads of types of loads of loops. So just at the top of my head, there's while loops, which are interesting to do. And then there are if statements, which are technically a loop, if they're done correctly. And then there's the for loops, which are really not really complicated, but complicated. So don't worry about this now. So in this tutorial, we'll be using if statements and while loops. So back to the tutorial. So we set the winner to false. Yeah, we're recording. Just checking, sorry. And then we put the while loop. Oops, a while loop. So basically, we're saying that while the variable winner equals false, let's just check this. Yeah. And print high. So this should hopefully print high forever. So yeah, you see it's just printing high, and you don't want this to run forever because it will just crash your computer. So yeah, don't do this. Sorry about that. So this is just to check if your while loop is working. So now we take the hard part. So number is another variable, and number will be equal to the number that the user inputs in the machine, and that number will be stored as the number num, as the variable num. So to make the user enter something into Python, we use the function input. So we input, let's say guess number, and then say between 1 and 100. And then we do an if statement. So we put if number equals comp num. I'll try out the code, and then I'll explain it because it's really hard talking and coding at the same time. So sorry for the silence. I'm just coding. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I'll start explaining it now. Okay, so basically at the beginning of the code, and we specified another thing, that guesses equals guesses plus 1. So this, each time this while loop runs, it'll add a guess. So it counts the guesses, right? So if you guessed it off your first time, and if the number that you input is equal to the computer number, the machine prints C1, and it prints the number of guesses, and then it exits the code. If the number is smaller than 1 or bigger than 100, it prints out of range, and whatever else happens, which must be a number between 1 and 100, we put another if statement. This is called a nested if statement. this is called a nested if statement, and basically, it runs this if statement first, and if these two options, this one, and if this one's not true, and this one's not true, then it goes to this one, and if this one's true, then it runs this this if statement. So now it says, if the number is smaller than the computer number, you print number is too small. And then you print also, if number is bigger than computer number, the machine prints the number is too big. So you see where I'm going with this. And then finally, we just need to satisfy one more option. Sorry, we'll remove the exit code and just set winner to false. Winner to true. True. And then just copy this and paste it here. And this should work if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So enter a number, 50. Oh, wait a minute. I've made a mistake. Just a sec. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. I know what the mistake is now. There's a mistake, and it says that these two statements can only be supported, can not be supported with a string or an int. So what we need to do is we need to type in int. So what int does is it converts everything inside the int brackets, which are these two brackets highlighted, into a number. So the user can't type in a letter. So if we run that now, it should work. Yeah. So now you've got a working program that you can show off to your friends, and it's a basic program. It's a working one. It's really nice. You can type in, you can change all of these green parts into anything you want. So you could guess a number between 1 and 1,000. But if you type in 1,000, A, it's going to be a really long game, and B, you'd have to change here. You change it here and here. So now, if I type in number 999, it's going to be the number too big, and it's not going to be out of range. So this is how you change the code. You just change this variable to change the between number, and if you change this one, you have to change this one, and you have to change the one in the speech marks. So you've got a random number game. Boom! You've learned how to code a basic number game. So yes, thank you for watching. We'll continue this tutorial in later videos, and yes, stay tuned, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on all notifications, and yeah, I'd appreciate it a lot if you do that, and please continue watching. So, see ya!